Hi, my name is Christian Borkowski.
My name is Evan Johnson.
Cherish Spengler.
I'm Matthew Roberts.
Ashley Montalvo.
I'm Michael Flores.
And we are Team Millennium Falcon. Now, our mission is to test Scinidecimus algae's ability to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen at its less than ideal temperature ranges and pressure ranges, such as that of near space. Our expectation is that its ability to convert such gases will be hindered the farther away it gets from the ideal situation. Our mission objectives include gathering data on the rate of conversion of carbon dioxide to oxygen and analyzing how this productivity is affected by its surroundings. We chose this mission because Scinidecimus algae and many other forms of algae have a lot of promise in being used in human space flights on long term to both convert carbon dioxide to oxygen and also serve as a very valid food source.
This is our concept of operations. Phase 1 is our pre-launch where we will ensure all of our systems are on and functioning. Phase 2 is the launch, weather permitting. We hope to launch on time. Phase 3 is data collection, in which the O2 and CO2 sensors will collect the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide produced by the algae, along with the provided sensors, which will record the other necessary data. And we'll also have a GoPro on board, which will capture images every 5 seconds. Phase 4 is the burst, and the accelerometer will record the G-forces that occur during this phase. Phase 5 is descent, in which we hope our structural design will ensure a safe landing for our algae. And Phase 6 is data collection, in which we will record the data collected off of the SD cards.
So there are two major changes to our basic structure since last time. We have one array of petri dishes now, whereas previously we had two, and we have moved the heater closer to said petri dish in an attempt to get the temperature as high as we can. Next slide, please. Here's a top view. You can see the two Arduinos, the heater, the petri dish, the control panel, the batteries, and underneath the control panel is the GoPro camera. So the open area on the floor between the balloon shield and the heater and under the control panel is allocated for the wiring. We're just going to wire everything up and wind it up all nice and neatly and have a little space for it there. Additionally, we will cut slots in the walls and cover them with plastic so that light can be given to the algae and it can continue its photosynthetic process. And the O2 and CO2 sensors will be connected to the air in the petri dish by a plastic tube. So they monitor the petri dish itself and not the air in the satellite.
This is our functional body diagram. We have 4 different systems. System 1 is the heater, which will ensure the algae maintains proper temperature and doesn't freeze. System 2 is our GoPro camera. System 3 is the first Arduino with all of the provided sensors. And our 4th system is an Arduino with only an O2 sensor and a CO2 sensor.
So these are our tests and their schedule. We have the basic structural tests, such as the drop test and the stair test, as well as the cooler test. And we have our algae control test, so that we can get a baseline for our data on the algae that we're going to send up and have something to compare it back to. This is just a summary of our test, each one which outlines what we're going to do for it. Here we have our expected data. We have a temperature versus altitude plot. As you can see, it gets much colder when the balloon sat goes up. We also have an oxygen and CO2 graph versus temperature, so you can see what kind of data we expect there. We have expected visual data from a GoPro on a high-altitude weather balloon, and we also have expected humidity data. You can see the humidity drops as the altitude increases.
Alright, some of our mission concerns definitely include the temperatures, mainly because our algae has to be kept above freezing, which is 0 degrees Celsius, and in the near space conditions it will get around negative 80 degrees Celsius. So we have to focus on that for sure. Another thing that we're focusing on is the violation of the integrity of the petri dish and the algae inside. So basically we just have to keep the algae sterile in order to get accurate results. And then if the balloon satellite lands in any water, that would also be an issue.
Regarding our weight summary, we're coming in at 823.65 grams. This allows us a little extra weight if we need to reinforce anything or make sure our mission concerns aren't actual major risks, such as securing our petri dish. For budget, we have about 149 used from our budget, and that allows us to replace anything if it gets broken and constantly prepare ourselves just for the worst case scenario.
Alright, within the next week we plan on finishing the external structure of our balloon sat and starting our whip tests. And then weeks after that we will focus on the other tests which we have to do. So we have weekly meetings on Sundays at 2 and then Mondays at 3:30. So this will help us stay on track and finish everything we need to. Thank you for watching. This is our preliminary design review from Team Millennium Falcon.